Hey guys, welcome back to the channel DZ Can Toys, where I usually do figure reviews and unboxing, but today we have something extra special. As seen in front of us, we have a whole custom diorama. So we're gonna do a showcase slash review of this amazing diorama done by Lawless Studios from Instagram. Initially, when creating this diorama, I requested Ron from Lawless Studios to make something that is inspired by the map known as Hanamura from the video game Overwatch. As you guys can see, the results speak for itself. It came out amazing. I received this diorama around more than half a year ago, but I never got a chance to really do a video for it or to showcase it. I feel like it definitely deserves a video to showcase itself and show more people out there about the world of custom diorama making and show off the work of talented artists like Ron from Lawless Studios to more of you guys out there as well. The entire process of creating this diorama probably took around more than half a year. I believe it was probably around 8 months or so. But it's definitely worth it as it is the biggest diorama in my personal collection. Ever since I got into figure collecting, I started seeing these amazing toy photographers taking pictures with these amazing backgrounds known as custom dioramas. And in the world of custom diorama artists, I believe Lawless Studios / Ron is one of the best artists out there. As you guys can see with the results in front of us, other artists out there create amazing work, but I would like to say that Ron is out here creating entire worlds instead of simply a diorama. So that's my compliment to you, Ron, if you're watching this. Let's move on to the diorama itself. Let's show you guys how it's assembled, the different structures, and see in more detail of this amazing diorama in front of us. Alright, so the first part of the assembly for this beautiful diorama is the base pieces. We actually have quite a few here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 pieces of the flooring in total. And it's really easy to assemble them because Ron from Lawless Studio over here installed magnets, and we also have these symbols which are painted on each side in silver, and what we can do is match the same symbols. This way when assembling it is much easier. Here's a closer shot of what I'm talking about. As we see, there's a circle symbol and there's also a sad face symbol. What we do is find another piece of the flooring that has the same symbol, and we'll just connect the other one to the same symbol. And this way we can complete our flooring of the whole diorama. So now I'm just quickly gonna assemble everything. So square and square match together. Triangle, triangle match together. As you guys can hear the magnet clicking. For example, over here, you guys see the 3 symbol here. Also on this board here, we have another 3 symbol, which means we just match like a puzzle and they click together. So very easy assembly for the flooring. Here's a look. I can't fit the entire bottom flooring in the camera frame, but they generally look the same. We do have some nice details, such as grass or moss, and some parts of the flooring seems to be cracked like real stone, which have some additional detailing in them. Here's a closer look at the floor tiles of this diorama. We do have 2 square pieces out of the 8 which have some extra detailing on it, which is the grass that we see over here. Very nicely done. They blend in with the stone texture of the flooring. As seen at the beginning of the video, this diorama actually have a few major structures, and here is one of the major structures assembled. I just want to show you guys individually, so this way you guys have some more ideas on the detailing. As you guys see, this diorama itself is huge, and I can barely fit it in the frame of the camera. Even so, it is bigger than my backdrop of the blue sky. So excuse the ugly backdrop. You guys are gonna see some of the walls over here to see the whole thing. But let's get a closer look at the detailing. Let's first talk about and have a closer look at the first floor of the structure. The first floor is overall done very nicely in the stone structure. We can see individual stones carved into the walls themselves. This is really nicely done, and we also see that signature moth or grass looking material throughout the stone itself. This way it adds a sense of realism to the structure itself, so that's very nice. Here's the alternative angle of the first floor. So we have a lot of nice sceneries here to be used for toy photography. As we see from this angle, there's actually some extra detailing. I'm not sure if you guys can see it clearly, but on the right over here, we have these wooden structures over here and on the pillar in the middle. So this adds more realism to the structure as well. So that's a nice touch for sure. Now, throughout the review, I'm going to be using the same figure as I mentioned for now, but I'll showcase more sizing comparisons to the diorama later at the end. For now, I'll just be using a Figma Genji to showcase the sizing. So as we see here, Figma Genji is around your SH Figuarts or Marvel Legends size. So if we just put him over here standing, we can see that he fits under the first floor pretty well, and definitely there's some size to this structure. A lot of nice possible angles can be taken for tour photography throughout, and for example this angle over here, you can have some creative shots with it. Here we have the other side of the first floor, so we can see more of the wooden structures. We actually have it over here on each individual pillar. We also have some red throughout here, which is supposed to represent painted wood, which does look very nice. Again, for size comparison, I'll have Figma Genji standing over here. So a lot of possibilities over here. And now let's showcase the backside of this. As for the backside of the first floor of this part of the structure, we can see it's done in black, and this is probably the original color of the material used to create this diorama. I assume it's the original color of the foam board, or maybe Ron actually painted the foam board in this black color anyways for the size. I'm not really sure, but I'm sure Ron at Lawless Studio can tell us if he's willing to. Anyways, moving back to the showcasing of the backside, there's not much coloring over here because we're not really gonna see the diorama from this angle, so it's understandable that it is not painted. Moving on to the second floor of this structure, we can see more detailing done here. The color theme is true throughout the entire building part of the diorama, so we have the white coloring and the red coloring. The red really reminds me of wood in real life, especially painted wood. We do have some extra carving to represent that wooden structure, so good job on that from Lawless Studios. Even on the white parts of the structure, we see some sort of cracks. It seems like the structure itself has been aged. We also have a nice detailing of the color gold throughout some parts of the second floor, which does add a nice highlight to the overall structure. Here we can see the different colorings up close and the cracks that I've been talking about throughout the pillars and the structure itself. The roof itself is also very unique, as all the roof of this diorama, Lawless Studios seems to be able to make a very realistic tiling type of roofing design that's really reminded me of the tile buildings that we see in past Asian cultures. So that's very nice. We have some extra gold detailing here as well. So let's check out the other side now. From the side view, this thing looks great. We have more of that detailing I've been talking about, and also on parts of the walls, we see that extra moss detailing or whatever grass detailing on the walls to show the age and structure, as well as on the roof tiles. So here's a closer look. Nicely done on the roof with the moss design to show aging again, and all of the different details of each individual tiles have been carved on. I'm not sure if it's carved on or individually done, but similarly on the walls, we have more of the moss detailing So that's very nice. Here's a quick look after I put the Figma Genji on the corridor itself. So we can see Genji peeking out here from the corridor. I believe this is a nice scene as well, as we can use many different figures to complete our toy photography needs. The possibilities are definitely endless. Here's the back view of the second floor corridor, as we can see Genji standing inside. So again, the backside, because we're not really seeing it, is not painted. But from this angle, you guys can see another detail that has been missing from the other angles, which is the nicely detailed flooring of the second floor is actually painted and carved in this wooden type of detailing. So it does look like the flooring for the second floor is made out of some sort of wood. But obviously in this case, it is still a foam board, but just the detailing inside makes it look like realistic wood is very nice detailing. One more thing I want to mention on this backside is normally over here we can actually put this door here. So on the other side, you guys can imagine what it would look like is we can see this door, which is again nicely detailed. Although it's made out of the foam material, we do have gold paint, black paint, and this nice carving to represent real wood. The nice thing about this is you can sort of open it like this to do some scenes or pretend to open it. And on the back side, we actually have a different color theme with the red wood. So it's up to you. You can use both sides of this door. So this way, for different shots, you can use a different color door, I guess. It's just nicely done. Here we have the other side. So similarly to the other side view, it looks extremely good and it looks very similar, except over here we do have this open area. It is for us to connect to the rest of the diorama. So all of the diorama parts again is connected very easily through magnet connections. So over here I'll put the staircase later to connect to the rest of the diorama, but just a general idea. Some nice details that I missed when talking about the second flooring that we can see on this side, I can showcase to you guys is here. Now just look at this angle, it's unreal. I believe this can make for a lot of very nice toy photography pictures. We can see the detailing done here above the doorway. We have this wooden structure and more wooden structure here, which definitely resembles this type of structure in real life. And we also have the ceiling done. There's paint on the ceiling and more wooden structures as seen on the camera view right now. This really represents the real life structures. Here's another look at the roof detailing inside the corridor. As you guys can see, just the different angles, no matter which angle you look at it, it's really nice. And I really didn't want to skip the roof detailing, so I want to show you guys another angle of it. Now there's only 2 floors, but I guess it has a pseudo third floor for this structure because at the back of the roof over here, there's actually a lookout, which is nicely done, again, carved in the stone tablet sort of structure. We have extra detailing on it as well, such as the green moth. It really looks like concrete. But just before we show a closer look at that, we can see the roofing done is, again, very detailed because we have these gold paints over here all the way across for this roof structure, and we do have the nice detailing of the tiled roof again. This is what I meant by the third floor lookout. So we do have a place that we can actually put a figure on, and it looks like he's on the roof of the structure, which again, you know, it didn't need it to be there, but since it is there, it's a nice option to have for extra toy photography. So kudos to Ron again for thinking of that. Here's an alternative look at the pseudo third floor lookout. So again, very nice. Now instead of focusing on Genji, let's focus on the tiles so you guys have a better look again at the detailing. Yeah, so a lot of nice options over here. Alright, moving on to the next major structure of this diorama, we have this amazing piece over here which has the similar sort of style with the tiling on the roof and the same white and red color theme. We also have a second floor over here, but it is not a corridor, instead it's more like a room. So let's look at each individual level first. Starting with the first floor, most of it is just the stone structure, which again is nicely detailed. It almost looks like real stone itself. I can see the hours that Lawless Studio put into this diorama for sure, carving all these different structures. The unique thing about the first floor is we do have a doorway over here. Now let's take a closer look at the doorway. As seen over here, the door has the color theme of gold, and we do have the red for the wood and the nice detailing of the wood itself and the wooden structure on top of the doorway. For example, over here, we have these metal hinges painted detailed, and we do have a ring for the doorknob itself. Although this cannot move, it is still nicely detailed. Since everything is magnetic, we can open the door and you can pretend that the door is open for, again, picture taking, something like that. And we can see the back. I think this door is painted on the back side too, similar to the other one, yes. So similar to the corridor door that we have on the other structure, this one we do have brown and gold on one side. So if you like this detailing, you can use this side, and or this side is interswappable, or the red side. Again, it has a nice size to it, the doorway itself. Let's just place our friend Genji Figma over here so you guys have a detailed sizing look at this doorway. So Genji over here is only about half the height of the door itself. So this means that even some of the higher figures, the larger 1/12 scale, you'll be able to use this doorway as a scenery. Here's a look at the side view of the first floor from a different angle. So there's not much to say over here except for more nicely detailed look at the stone structures. Here's a look at the back side of the first floor for this structure over here. So most likely it is not to be shown, so again it's not painted, but we do have this part over here that is painted with the walls being red and some nice detailing. This door is the doorway that we've seen in the front view for the structure. So if you really wanted to, I guess we can put our figure here and take a close-up shot using this background as well. As you guys can see, there's a second floor level labeling over here. This is to help out with assembly, because there's actually a lot of pieces for this diorama to assemble together. So these definitely help. This is the other side view of the first floor. Again, over here, we have half a stone tablet. You guys see some insertations here for magnets. This side over here is not painted because it is used for connection to the other part of the diorama once we assemble everything together. Now we're just gonna take a look at the second floor of the structure in more detailing. Again, the color themes is the same throughout the diorama. We have the red and the white for the walls, the gold highlights. Something unique over here, I guess, is that we do have a window here, and it's made out of this mesh material and painted with gold detailing. So all of this looks amazing. All the way up here we have the roof tiles, and all of them can come separate just like this, as you guys see. And we can see the nice detailing done. And they attach magnetically, and we can just lay them on the roof, just like that. So not much to say over here, but I'm just gonna let you guys check out some of the detailing again. For the shade itself, because it is in this mesh material, we can actually see through from behind. As you guys can see the backdrop from behind. Now I placed the Figma Genji at the back of the second floor shade, so you can sort of see him over there. I'm sure with some nice lighting we can get some nice shots over here in terms of toy photography as well. So that's very cool. In case that you don't want to see the back of the shade, Ron from Lawless Studio actually included this piece, which is very thoughtful as well. It's just a piece of thin foam, but it does say window shade. So what we can do is actually cover the window from the back. Here's the results once we put in the window shade. I left a little bit of room over here so you guys can see the difference. We can sort of see through over here, but for the majority of the part, which is covered by the window shade, we can't see through at the back. So this is a nice option to have if you wanted to take pictures from the front and you don't really want to see whatever is behind. As for the side view of the second floor of this structure, I'm just going to show you guys one side because they look very similar. We just have the white painting and the red wooden painting and some moth again for the extra detailing to show the age. As for the back view, again, it's not meant to be seen, so it's not really painted up in detailing, but a really nice detailing that we do have here is the second floor. We do have some space to play with. As we can see here, the flooring is done in this wooden paint. We do have the window shade, which is painted exactly like how it's painted from the front too. We have some nice detailing of the walls. So this means that we can actually use the second floor for some nice pictures as well. This is the shade that I was talking about. To cover the window from the inside, you just put it here and place it there. Very easy. And just for sizing, let's take our Figma Genji over here. So he can fit in here no problem. Just get him to stand. So it's sort of like a room over here that we can also use for toy photography. While I'm showing you guys this scene over here, we actually do have a small accessory that's included in the diorama itself, which I can showcase to you guys now. Here we go. It's a nice sort of storage cabinet that you can put over here, I guess on the side, to add some extra detailing to the room. It's nicely done, as we can see the red paint, the gold paint, and the handles painted. We can't really open it, so you can put it on the side to add some extra scenery to the room, or however you want to place it. And again, it looks pretty in scale with a 1/12 figure, so we can definitely have some fun over here. It's a nice little prop included that we can use for the second floor if you wanted to take some pictures. Moving on to the third major structure, we have this beautiful carved out piece of a staircase. We have the nice carving detailing here for the stone, more of that moth detailing to show the age of the structure itself, the wooden part done in this brown colorway. I also noticed even for the stone structure itself, we have two colorways, which is a darker gray and a lighter gray. And of course, cracks throughout to show more realism. On the other side, you guys can see the full effect of the stairway. Very nicely detailed. Cracks and chips to show age. And again, the detailing of the grass slash moth. Here we have our trusty old Figma Genji. We can make him stand on any part of the stairs. So a lot of pictures to be taken with the stairs to show your toy photography creativity. At the back side, it is not painted, or on the side view, I meant for the structure, because what we're supposed to do is connect this part to the rest of the structure. This is the back side of the staircase. We do have the similar detailing. From the top view, we can see that this part over here is unpainted, and this is for us to lay the other platform on. Once we assemble everything, it will be more clear. Moving on, I'm going to show you guys a fourth major structure in the diorama itself, which is this wall piece over here. It connects at the end of the diorama, which we have the grass for the bottom over here. And this thing itself actually looks quite amazing. Although it's just a wall, we have this amazing carving of a dragon done in the middle in this circle structure, and we have gold painting at the back sides. So more detailing, more red, more stone carving. This thing looks really nice and really reminds me of something from Mortal Kombat. We do have another piece over here for the pillars itself. What we're supposed to do is connect it over here to this wall, and this way we have a nice structure for the side of the diorama in terms of a wall structure. Now let's just take a closer look. This is what it looks like. Here's an alternative angle of this wall structure that we can put on the side of the diorama. Again, I really enjoy the design and the thought that goes into this part of the diorama. It might not be as in your face as some of the other structures that we've shown so far, but definitely I believe some pictures that can be taken using these structures can come out just as good, if not better, than the main structures. Here's a quick look with the figure standing in between this wall structure from this angle. And it does look pretty nice. If you can work with the angle, I'm sure there can be some amazing pictures done. Here's the last structure that I'm going to show you guys before putting the whole diorama together for you guys to see. So this part of the diorama is a pavilion. When we're not using the walls that we see on the left side, which I just showcased to you guys, we can actually remove the walls and put a pavilion on the side. Sadly though, we can't put both on the diorama plate itself because all of the structures added together takes up too much space. But we do have this separate pavilion to use as well for this diorama. And this diorama is something that I requested when asking Ron from Lawless Studio to make this diorama for me. It is inspired by real life structures of pavilion, but also in the map from Overwatch the game, in the middle of Hanamura, we also have this pavilion. And for those of you guys who played Overwatch before, you guys will remember over here in the middle, there's actually a health pack for you to get. And let's just put Genji over here so you guys have an idea. He needs some healing. Cough, cough. If you know Overwatch, then you know what I'm talking about. Genji needs some healing. So it looks perfect with our Figma Genji over here, and we do still have some space till the top of the doorway. So other scaled figures, such as other 1/12 scale figure, can work with this structure as well. So this thing itself is really amazing, and again, it is made from different pieces that we can assemble and disassemble for storage, such as the roof. But just look at the amazing details of the roof itself. I really want to applaud Lawless Studios and Ron for making this part. We have all the tile detailings of the roof. I'm sure it took a long time. And we have the extra moth detailing to show the aging structure. It splits in half and it's attached by magnets again. We can put it together. This thing looks really amazing, and Ron, you're definitely one of the best diorama creators out there. And without the roof itself, we can take a clear look at the structure itself here, which disassembles just like that. As you guys can see some extra detailing from the flooring, we do have this wooden piece over here to use as the flooring, something like that, which has the nice carvings from the wood itself. And then what we do is just assemble everything like that, connect by magnets, and we get the bottom of the pavilion. Some nice details again for the paint theme. We have gold, red, and white, switching the angles to one side. That's not supposed to happen, but it does break apart a little bit easily due to weight, but once you have it together, it's not too bad. Again, they connect by magnet, so give me a sec to assemble it again. As seen over here, we have two doorways, like here and over here on this side, but on one side of it, we do have a wall, but this side, we have this nice shading design, as seen on the second floor structure, which I showed you guys earlier. We got this nice mesh design with gold painting. Again, the lovely red wood detailing for a structure like this. And at the bottom, we have more stone detailing. So yeah, this thing looks pretty good. And it might just be one of my favorite parts of the entire thing. Turning it around, we have the corridor or the entrance. And then we have the other side, which is just a wall. We still have this nice design detailing of the wood that goes all over. And yeah, so you can just put the roof on and we have a whole pavilion, which looks amazing. You can do your rooftop Genji on the roof. Here's another look, looking through the insides of the pavilion itself. Almost missed this detail to show you guys, which I'm pretty sure it took a lot of effort too. At the bottom of the rooftops, we have this nice detailing for the ceiling of the roof piece. So no details are skipped. This way, when taking pictures, we can also have an angle to look at the roof, similar to the corridor from the other structure, we do have roof detailing. If we look up this way for some type of photography for your figures, it will look very nice, I'm sure of it. So now that we've shown all the major structures, let's put the whole thing together and get an idea of what the entire thing looks like. Here's a shot which I combined a few of the structures together. So this is not the final end look of the diorama itself, but just like this, I feel like it's a very nice scene to use already for a lot of different pictures that you can be taking with toy photography. So let's put the other major structure on now. Once again, we added the other structure that we've seen earlier in this review. And again, it's really hard to fit everything in the camera frame because this thing is very huge. And I took out the staircase to assemble the back part of this diorama. Now let's put the staircase back. Here we have the whole thing assembled together. Definitely this is amazing. It's very huge. Again, I can't fit the entire thing in the camera frame. I'm having some problems with it. But just from the whole thing assembled together, we can tell that this thing is gorgeous and absolutely huge. The whole thing took about probably more than half a year to complete from Lawless Studios. And in terms of developing this diorama, again, I talked with Ron many times throughout, and we're trying to go for that Japanese type of building look, especially being inspired by the map Hanamura from the game Overwatch. So over here is an alternative setup with the pavilion on the sides. As you guys can see, I had to take off the wall structure in order to put the pavilion onto the side. Or we can just take the entire thing away and just use the pavilion for the pictures with the flooring itself. So the possibilities here are really endless. Finally, I do want to show some extras that's included in this diorama, which is some accessories. All of them are actually pretty cool. First, we have two of these rock ring structures, which we can use as props. They look very detailed and I'm sure there's lots of use for them. Let's set those aside. We also have two similar rock pillar over here. Again, nicely detailed. And on the front side, we actually have some gold paint at the top too. So we have two of these pillar statues, whatever you want to call them, to use for the figure photography itself. Moving on, we have a nice stone table that's made, which is like this. And of course, some stone seats, sort of like a Japanese garden outside. You can have some figures sitting here or standing by each other, which can make a nice scene as well. Let's just get our Figma Genji over here and see if we can sit him on one of the chairs, just like that. Yeah, so pretty nice. We also have some other structures included. We have two of these things. Again, it's a really Japanese inspired prop to use for the gardens. And these things are nicely detailed. I believe they're 3D printed actually. Let's take a closer look. Here's a closer look. Very nicely detailed with gold paint. And of course, all the other stone structures. We also have this interesting piece over here, which is actually for connecting to the wall here. In case that we don't want to use this part of the diorama, here's the end results. Basically, we took this pillar part off and we just added this little piece over here. We can just take it off like that, which attaches magnetically. So that's a cool thing to have as well, an option if we wanted more space and didn't want to use the side of this wall piece. Another prop that comes with this deal that I custom made is these cherry blossom trees. These are probably some of my favorite props ever in terms of my props for toy photography. I think they look amazing and Ron did an amazing job in terms of trying to recreate a cherry blossom tree to use for photography. I think these are glued on and maybe during shipping some fell off, but I just threw the extra leaves or the cherry blossoms on the bottom, which looks kind of realistic too, because usually these trees, as we know, for sakura or cherry blossom season would start have these cherry blossoms falling down. So I can take some of these out and put it on the floor to use for picture taking, but the tree itself looks actually really good. We get 2 of these, and they're slightly different from each other. One is a bit taller and one is a bit shorter, and one is a bit bigger, one is a bit smaller. So if we place the trees here, you guys can see they look very nice and adds a lot of flavor to the diorama itself. So you can place it anywhere in the diorama or use it without the major structures of the diorama. A lot of options here, but I really enjoy this prop specifically because I think it's some of Ron's best work for sure. Finally, we have some rock accessories. So we do have something like this included and some smaller pieces of rock. So we can place them around anywhere on the diorama as needed. If you wanted to do some extra structures of realism for rocks, just place them anywhere and they look quite good. In addition, we also have this green moth looking material. I believe this is the stuff that is used over here to have the extra detailing, but we get a bag of this from Ron usually when he creates a diorama for you, and you can place them somewhere on the floor if you wanted to, or near a figure or near a tree. This way it has some sort of extra detailing as well. Anyways, the possibilities are endless. Final thoughts on today's review. So today we did something different. It is more like a diorama review / showcase. It's mainly to show you guys out there that there's many ways to display your figure and many ways to improve in terms of your toy photography needs. Having a diorama, whether big or small, can definitely improve the quality of your toy photography. Also, just having something like this in your collection to display your figures can make some amazing scenes as well for a collector in terms of only displaying their collection. Again, big shout outs and thanks to Ron from Lawless Studios. If you guys are interested in having your own custom diorama made, he's one of the best ones out there. I have to say, in terms of material detailing, if you're interested, you can find him on Instagram at lawless_studios. I believe this is probably the biggest diorama that he ever created for a customer. I feel like, I'm not really sure. Let me know if it is, Ron, if you're watching this video. Also, it's definitely the biggest diorama in my collection, and also the biggest one that you made for me for sure. I look forward to working again with you in the future to create not only dioramas, but create entire worlds like this, which is absolutely amazing. Anyways, there goes the end of today's review and showcase. If you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. I would really appreciate that. I know today we did something different. Let me know if you guys are interested to see more different type of videos in regarding to toy photography and not just straight up figure reviews in the comment section below. There goes the end of today's video. As always, my friends, let's end up with some pictures of this amazing diorama. Remember to stay young at heart, and we're out.
Multinational fight this weapon, you know. Think a ramping thing, a top ranking thing. Hear that? Bet you never know. Say we have the power, but this thing we touch the road. Tell them say we ready, clip them on the cut she load. Should know say we no regular. Anything we ready for. Bet you never know. Bet you never know. Nah, go take no talk, I beg no pardon, that's for sure. Bet you never know, bet you never know. We are like the badness, we are like the globe. Bet you never know.